So how would you guys react if the water that comes out of your water faucet catches on fire when you light it up with a lighter? It's these scare tactics such as these that paint a false reality of how hydraulic fracking affects people. All hydraulic fracking is a process, a drilling process where you pump water, sand, and chemicals into the ground to extract natural gas. Vocal opponents of this technique emphasize that it contaminates water supplies and it increases the propensity of seismic activity in the area. But these claims are just way overblown. It is therefore my contention that hydraulic fracking has significant advantages for America. It boosts economic activity, it protects national security, and is a mature technique that results in energy that's cleaner and better for the environment than traditional fossil fuels. Now that you know that hydraulic fracking is great for America, I'll first discuss how fracking provides substantial positive economic benefits. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, approximately a quarter of the U.S. energy consumption is from burning natural gas. Recent shale formation developments have exponentially grew the job sector in the industries related to natural gas and hydraulic fracking. These new fracking wells create thousands of stable American jobs for decades to come. In fact, a PwC manufacturing report has reported that over the next 15 years, about over 1 million jobs related to fracking and natural gas will be generated if we continue on the path we're going. These jobs are within creation of new communities, trucking jobs, construction jobs, engineering jobs, operations jobs, amongst many others. And not just the jobs itself, it's not just the jobs that provide economic benefits. There's also the export industry. Fracking and natural gas creates an export market for natural gas to other countries. Natural gas is a high demand energy source for many places. And we're in America, because we have that resource, we're considering mass exports of this energy. According to a U.S. Energy Department report last month, exports of natural gas will provide unprecedented levels of benefits to the U.S. economy. This is especially significant in consideration of the fact that the U.S. has few new export opportunities. While the U.S. can prosper from the effects of hydraulic fracking, it also helps us maintain our national security. Fracking improves the national security outlook for the U.S. According to Energy Tomorrow, the U.S. has about a century's worth of supply of natural gas underneath our ground in the northeast corridor in Texas, in that area. This natural gas is just basically waiting for us to extract it. In consideration of our vast natural gas resources, fracking is the preferred method of extracting a lot of natural gas out of the ground. According to the Boston Globe, fracking allows us to be energy independent. The abundance of natural gas, it could be used, the abundance of natural gas that we have makes us less dependent on foreign energy sources. It can be used to heat our homes, to produce electricity, or to power our cars. Less than foreign energy dependence reduces the need to have American military stationed overseas to protect American energy assets. This saves America untold amount of money and stress and untold numbers of lives. Besides helping the country in its national security, fracking is a safe and mature process that is much better for the environment than fossil fuels. Energy Tomorrow describes fracking as a 60-year-old process that is used to drill over 35,000 wells each year alone. The Groundwater Protection Council has even stated that fracking is considered a very safe and effective stimulation technique. The technology is just safe and mature. Accidents can happen, but they don't happen when proper precautions and techniques are taken. After extracting natural gas that burns off is very clean. The EPA has stated that the natural gas burns off much lower amounts of nitrogen oxides, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and mercury. Therefore, natural gas serves as a bridge to clean, low-carbon, and renewable energy resource. Fracking is good for America. To emphasize that, it's very good for America. It boosts our economic activity, generation of jobs and our economic sector. It protects our national security, making us less dependent on others. And it is a very safe and secure technique that's good for our environment. And that is my speech.
All right, you do clearly state your proposition early on. I think that's pretty solid. It seems a little strange because your attention device is actually maybe more workable for the anti-fracking position than your position. You do kind of come back and say, that's a piece of false information or propaganda that's creating the controversy, but then you don't really talk about that controversy, and I think you need a little bit more background on this about how fracking's been opposed, that there are rules that sometimes restrict it, that there is a movement that's in active opposition to this. Mention, for instance, some of the stuff that talks about the water being lit on fire and that sort of thing as an illustration, but who's doing these kinds of things? There are motion picture makers and documentaries and that sort of thing that talk about that there are political groups there. I think we could use a little bit more on the controversy. But there's a good layout of what the structure of the speech is, so it's not hard to follow. I think once in a while you could signpost those points a little more distinctly in the speech, although I could follow them. Remember, though, that there are casual listeners too, and so sometimes the labeling would help them a bit more. I thought you did a very nice job providing us with good data to support most of your claims. I think you could probably use a little bit more information, a little bit more reinforcement on some of the points. It's not that what you had was problematic. It's just that if anybody has doubts, I think more data would be more convincing. At one point you talk about the estimated number of jobs, for instance, and you say it's potentially 1 million jobs, and then you start listing all these kinds of jobs that are going to come up, and I'm going, well, that's a pretty conclusionary sort of statement. I'm not saying that it's not true. It probably sounds like it's true, but, tell us about how they reached that conclusion, what economists evaluated in reaching, in making that inference, because it does sound a little conclusionary, and it's a single authority that you're using to present that, and that's why I think some multiple information on that point would be helpful. Sometimes it does, like I said, you usually do provide a source citation for your points. A couple of times it did sound like there's some paraphrasing going on instead of direct quotes, but usually I think you were doing a good job on that. Generalization seemed fine. I thought you had an excellent delivery of the material, and there's a good summary at the end trying to remind us what your point was. Your exit line, though, should be that propositional statement instead of the tag ending that you throw on at the end. All right, thank you.